it's me, Artless Zombie. As you can see, I have this lovely makeup look on. If you want to see how I did this, you should refer yourself to my Supernatural video, because that's where I put this on. Well, since I have this on, and I'm going to need to take it off, I figured we should take it off and talk about something that I don't like very much. And the thing that we're going to be talking about today that I don't like very much is Shadowhunters. I don't know how many of you know of it, but it is a TV show that is based off of one of my favorite book series, The Mortal Instruments. I think there's 6 books in the series. I've read all of them several times, not in years though. I love the book series. I was really excited to learn that they were going to make a movie, because they started out just making a movie. And I watched the movie. It was not good. Not at all. They did several things which, in the world that is set up by the books, would be completely impossible. In the movie, their big climax scene is when they have Valentine, who's the bad guy. He summons demons inside of the Institute. This is completely impossible in the world as it's set up in the books, because the Institute exists to be a safe haven from demons. If a demon tries to set foot in an Institute, regardless of whether it's summoned or not, it will die. Will burn up and die. There's no way there could be an epic battle with demons inside the Institute. So that was my main problem with the movie. I had some other problems with the movie, but that was my main problem. Anyway, they made the movie. It didn't do very well. And they were like, well, we still really like this. We still want to, do something with this, because it's a really amazing book series. If you haven't read it, I definitely recommend it. It is 6 books, so if you don't feel like reading that, you should read another series that's the same world, different characters, by the same author. That's the Infernal Devices series, which is actually, I like that series better than the Mortal Instruments series, but they're both pretty good. I read the Mortal Instruments first. You don't have to. Technically, the Infernal Devices happens before, like a long time before the events of the Mortal Instruments. They were like, well, this is a really great book series, it still has a lot of people who really like it. And so they were like, maybe the real problem was that we just couldn't get all of the important information into a movie, which, is usually the problem with book-to-movie adaptations. So they were like, why don't we make it a TV series? Which sounds like a great idea. It was a great idea. They didn't really pull it off that well, to be honest. They got an entirely new cast, because apparently I guess that the other cast didn't want to do it or something. I don't know. Maybe they were already caught up in other things. Who knows? They got a completely different cast. I didn't like Alex's casting choice. I think he looked the part, but he didn't understand the character very well. I didn't like Jace. I don't think that he really got the Jace vibe. I really liked Magnus. I thought that their choice for him was super inspired, and I never would have imagined him like that, but I love imagining him like that now that I have seen that, I think the girl they chose for Clary looked the part, but again, didn't really get the character. For the first couple episodes, they do follow the book pretty well. Not 100%, but pretty well. But then, as it goes on, they they take more and more liberties. And, like, they still follow the lore, and I appreciate that. Like, that really bothered me about the movie, was that they just threw out all the lore. So I appreciated that they, kept most of the lore. It still just sucks when they don't really follow the storyline, because the storyline is really interesting. Ugh, if I got blood all over me. It's probably fine. 1 second. So yeah, I liked the idea. I was really glad that they were wanting to, you know, reinvent it and everything. I just don't know if they really understand what it's about. I liked Simon because this is not gonna work, is it? He understood what his character's arc was. He wants her to just forget that she found out that she's a Shadowhunter. He wants everything to just go back to normal, and he ends up getting captured by vampires and turned into one of them. So now he can't just forget about it. He can't just go back to normal because he's a vampire now. He needs blood to survive, you know? His life will never, ever be the same. Demons are more animalistic, I would say. Like, they don't really communicate with any demons unless it's a higher level demon, because most of the demons just act in the way that animals would, and their motivations are controlled by someone else. And there is angels in it too. That's actually where Shadowhunters come from. They're Nephilim. And so they fight demons, and they have special weapons and all of that. That was another thing about the show, is that they end up putting the Shadowhunters in this, like, super high-tech institute. I'm pretty sure, I haven't read the books in years, but I'm pretty sure in the books, Clary actually isn't allowed to use her phone because the demons can track you. And so she doesn't use her phone as much. And even though it is modern day, the institute stays pretty much the same. Yet they have the institute be this completely high-tech laboratory, and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Especially where they're supposed to be kind of removed from society because they have runes that they put on their body that make them invisible or faster or stronger, or, you know, all kinds of things. They have runes for all kinds of things, but the main one is that they have runes so that when they go out and are, like, fighting demons and stuff, you know, the mundanes don't know about it. They can't see them. They aren't supposed to be a part of human society. They're supposed to be a part of their own society. I didn't like Isabel very much. I think she got some of her character down. There is more to Isabel than just that. She isn't just the charismatic girl who gets whatever she wants. She has a deeper side to her. And to be fair, I haven't seen all of the show because it's like 3 seasons now, and I got through, I think, the first season, maybe half of the second season, and I just couldn't anymore because they were taking too many liberties, and I wasn't okay with that. Having read the book several times and loved the book, it's hard to enjoy it because the whole time you're just sitting there like, these aren't the characters that I fell in love with. This isn't the storyline that I came here to see. You said that you would show me the City of Bones, and all I see here is a different version of that same world. In the show, previous members of the circle have a circle tattoo on their neck that can be used to, like, not only identify them, but punish them. Like, Hodge used to be a member of the circle, and he's not allowed to leave the Institute because of that. And they still keep that idea, but Hodge is supposed to be the head honcho, basically, of the Institute. He can't leave, but you should still respect him because he's the one teaching everyone everything. He's the one in charge. Well, in the show, they still keep that he can't leave because that circle tattoo that he has will burn up if he tries to leave. And he's just a weapons trainer. Like, and that's the other thing, is that they make a point in the books to say that these people are the only people in the Institute. Like, it's a really big building, but it's not full of Shadowhunters. And they have a lot of extras in the show that are Shadowhunters, just chilling, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They also have this thing where they have Alec almost get married to a girl despite the fact that he's gay. And I don't remember that happening in the book. It is possible that happened in the book. I could see that being something that happened. It definitely doesn't go down the way that it does in the show. But yeah, basically, I think my biggest issue with it is that it just throws out so much of what made the book interesting. And the parts that it does keep, it does differently, like, just differently enough that you're like, I don't know how I feel about that. Or it just doesn't do it as well. Because, like, their weapons are fairly similar to what I thought they would look like, but they're supposed to be just the handle until a Shadowhunter touches it, and then the blade comes out from the handle like a lightsaber. And in the show, they just have the blade light up if a Shadowhunter touches it. Which, like, yeah, that still works. It's still interesting, but it's not as interesting as Harvard coming out from the handle. And it also matters because that was one of the things that made it, like, really cool, is that it was something you could just put in your pocket, basically, and carry it around with you. You didn't have to carry a weapons bag or anything. You could just throw it in a backpack or something, and then they could go around looking inconspicuous until they needed to fight demons. It just made more sense. It's hard to overlook those kinds of things because it's not just like one small thing. It's a lot of small things, and a couple bigger things, but it really just isn't what it should have been. And I think, you know, I could try and overlook that, but if I overlook that, I just keep thinking about how most of the actors don't really build a character. They say their lines, they fight the fights, and, like, sometimes it feels interesting, but for the most part, these characters feel very bland. They don't feel real. At the end of the day, I don't think it's worth the time. I don't understand why it's still running, and I just wish that somebody would understand that. So I'm gonna put it out into the world and hope that one of you does. And hopefully it all works out in the end. I mean, I don't have to watch it if I don't want to watch it. And if you do want to watch it, feel free to watch it. I just don't think it's worth it. So, you do you, man. Anyway, that's all I had to say about that. So, I hope you guys have a good night. You know, remember to stay weird. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Have a good rest of your day, and we can always help. Bye.